Nam Atta Yoga Nushasanam. Atta Yoga Nushasanam. Now we are ready to begin the study and practice of yoga. That's the very first teaching in what's called the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And this past weekend I had the opportunity to share in the teachings of this philosophy with my dear friend Bhavani Maki, who is visiting from Kauai, Hawaii, here in Bozeman. And we spent 2 hours for 3 days in a row discussing the deeper meanings of yoga and how it applies to our everyday life. So many people come to yoga because we want to feel more comfortable in our physical body, and I know a lot of my students come to the teacher training with the intention of teaching these physical forms. And then once we step onto the yoga mat and we begin to recognize how we respond to this practice of yoga, how we respond to the details of anchoring our feet and aligning our spine and moving with our breath and keeping our mind clear, we start to realize the unraveling of so much more than just a physical practice. And this is what's kept me intrigued with the practice of yoga for over 35 years. It's such a blessing to share this experience with others. It's my honor to be a teacher to teachers so that I have the opportunity to not only share yoga, but to pass it on. Right now I'm in the midst of our 5-week summer immersion of teacher training, and we're right in the middle of it, and we are right in the thick of it. It's so much information and experience, and it's like we're peeling away these layers that sometimes keep us from just really seeing who we are. Yoga is known as a practice of transformation, and what I've really come to know is we're not transforming ourselves. What we're doing is we're transforming our relationship to the disturbances and the distractions that our habits and our practices that keep us from being ourselves. You know, our attachments, our aversions, our not knowing, our sense of missing the point to what the true meaning of our life is, and we start to peel those layers away, and it's not easy. So it's so rewarding, however. So the idea of getting on the yoga mat and being very present in the moment with ourselves and whatever arises is a very honorable time. Each time we come to our formal practice, we learn a little bit more about how we can live more gracefully in the world. And I had this experience last night. It was about 11 o'clock, and I was in bed, and I was attempting to get myself to calm down. I was a little bit agitated because I just have a lot of details to attend to right now with my 13 trainees and some other programs I'm developing, and the care of my garden and my home, and the desire to get out and go camping. You know how summer is in Bozeman. It's like there's so many things you want to do because it's so beautiful, and it doesn't last very long. So here I was in bed feeling what's called the vrittis. The vrittis are the distractions of the mind. So I'm working on calming those distractions, and the neighborhood dog right across from me starts barking incessantly. And I have to admit that one of my least favorite sounds in the whole world is incessant barking dog. I just get so agitated. So here my mind was agitated, and now the barking of the dog at 11 o'clock, and I know this dog, it doesn't just do it a little bit, it usually goes on for about an hour. And so then I started getting agitated in my body. I could feel my tension building, and then I remembered, okay, here's an opportunity to be a yogi, to practice my yoga right here, right now. How am I going to deal with this? Meanwhile, the other part of my mind, my distracted mind, was I need to talk to these people. How can I get them to make their dog be quiet? Do I need to write them a letter? Blah, 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 blah. So then I switched to the other wisdom mind, recognizing that this is out of my control. I could choose to close all my doors and windows, although it's summer and I like to keep them open. Or I can step inside and start to let go of the attachment to this distraction and really practice my yoga. What I did is I ended up putting on a recorded meditation, and I put that close to me so I could hear it. So I heard the voice of my teacher calming me down, bringing me into the present. Meanwhile, yap, 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 and my mind's going, oh, there it is again, I can still hear it. And then whoop, back to the other side, listening, calming down, breathing more deeply, being in the present moment, yap, yap, yap. We go back and forth. And sure enough, however, after about 15 minutes, I could feel myself, it took a little while, feel myself calming down and focusing more on my inner experience, on what I could control, my breath, my body, my thoughts. And the barking became less and less of that distraction. It got further and further from my mind. And then I finally calmed down. And guess what? So did the dog. The dog became quiet, I became quiet, and I did have a good night's sleep. This is how we approach yoga on a day-to-day basis. We get on the mat, we practice paying attention, we look at all our distractions, we learn to focus inward and let go of what we cannot control, and we begin to sink into what is most real in ourselves. So there's a little example of applying yoga to everyday living. I hope you'll see for yourself how you can utilize the power of your breath and the power of your own mind to let go of those outside distractions and disturbances so we can live peacefully and wholeheartedly. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy the beauty of this summer, and we'll catch you again soon. Namaste. Yogas chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the quieting of the mind so we can listen to the consciousness of our heart.